Well, hello, Art 10. You're going to go ahead and watch me struggle through Photoshop. I'm a bit rusty, but we're going to be running through the following. So we're going to open up a picture of yourself, right? So I'm going to use a picture of me and for the demonstration, and I'm going to be using this one just in Photoshop. I'll have a different tutorial for you in a different program, but for this one, if you do have Photoshop, what we're going to do is we're going to take an image, we're going to put it to the scale that we need it. It's 9 by 12, so we're going to convert it to that size. And then we're going to get rid of the color information and then convert it by posterizing it. I'll show another one that's the cutout filter, which might be a nice different way of like viewing the shape or having something a little more geometric, right, to use as a map. But this map is what's going to help you for the project. So let's go ahead and open up an image. Got my image here, opening that up. All right, so we're good to go. That looks like me. So this one, first off, I got to check out the size. So if I'm looking at the size on this right now, the image size is currently, well, 384 pixels by 512 by 72. I don't know what that relates to 9 by 12, but really all that we care about is the ratio, right? So a 9 by 12 ratio would be a 3:4 ratio, or you could do 9 by 12. So if I click on the crop tool, I can go right here in the ratio and do 9 by 12. And look, it's already a 9 by 12 ratio. Maybe I'm not too satisfied with some of the composition here. So I could shrink this down a little bit, and I'd have to make a decision here artistically. For your project, I think it's better to have most of the face, right, as sort of the goal and not worry about this bottom part. So you see how my mask kind of goes off the page? I'm not too worried about that because the bigger the face is, the easier the project's going to be for this particular one. So I try to get maybe the hair's important. If the hair's not important, maybe you zoom in, right, and just show like from the eyes to the chin. See what makes sense for your particular image. For me, I'm going to go ahead and go a little bit further, and we'll see how it looks, and then we'll make a decision there. So got my ratio, got it lined up where I want it. I'm going to click on the checkbox. Good to go. The next part is we got to get rid of the color information. So I'm going to go up to Image, and there's an option right under Adjustments and Mode. Mode, I can just convert it to grayscale. Adjustments, if I still was going to do some stuff with color, sometimes this is nice. I could just desaturate it, right? Or I can, that's probably the easiest thing to do. Desaturate, done. Or I can convert it to black and white. This would essentially do the same thing. I don't think it makes that much of a difference either way. This will make a much smaller file. So if you have color information in there, that makes a bigger file. So the less colors, the more the less the file size you're going to have. So going into this, that's all set up. If I wanted to, I could go in here and do some adjustments. I would say like for beginner levels is good. This one is your white. The white triangle is your whites, your highlights. I would try to make sure that you don't have too high contrast of an image. Notice that I have various levels of gray in this photo. If you're looking at it and it looks like this and you have a lot of white that's blown out from the sun, it's not going to work so good for this project. So you might want to get a different photo or take a new one. So make sure you do have values of gray. You really need gray in this. This is your black, so if you wanted to, if I wanted to make the mask a little bit darker, or not getting a true black in there, I might modify that a little bit. And this is my midtones, so that makes it lighter, that makes it darker. I could do a little bit darker just to add a bit of contrast. But I might be concerned about the eyes, right? So I'm looking at the skin tone here. There we go. I can move that in just a little bit. Want to make sure. There we go. Good. Now, we're not trying to get a super photographic image from this. You're going to be abstracting it quite a bit, right? So if I go into image, you could do this setting and then save it and you're done, right? So you can go to image and you'll notice an option under, I want to say under adjustments, and right there, posterize. So it's under invert, right? You'll see a button for posterize. We want 4 levels. So that means that, if I had this on 2, that means there's black and white. Black is one level, white is the second level. We have 4 tones of paper color, right? We have 4 shades of gray. So we want to make sure that we adjust this until you see 4 shades of gray. So if you have it on 47, we're not going to be able to tell. So Command 0, I'm going to zoom in. We'll go ahead and go back. There's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4 levels of gray. I could save this and call it done. It's pixelated because I didn't really pay attention to the resolution level, right? So I was really, remember, this is a map. It's not the final product. You're just using this for reference. So you're trying to make it as simple and quick as possible. And I could be pretty much done with this. I could save this and I would be good to go, right? Maybe this one's called, I don't know, for grayscale. I'll do P3 for project 3. All right, and I don't know, my name. Super long name. Really, it's for your reference, so you could have just done your name and that's it. I'm going to save this to the desktop. It's saving it as a JPEG. JPEG compresses, so if you want something that's a little bit bigger, that's unaltered, a PNG is probably better, and that will still work for uploading. I'm going to do that. Now, I'm going to go back a step to this one. So what if I wanted to alter this just a little bit? So if you do have Photoshop, you'll have an option for filter. And if you go into, let's see, bear with me because I can't remember where it's, I think it's under artistic, but I don't see it here. So I'm going to go into filter gallery and we'll see if we can find it in here. So there's color, there it is. It's under artistic, under the filter gallery, and there's cutout. Now this might be a better way to treat the assignment, right? Whoa, that's a little too big. Let's shrink that down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. Unfortunately, my frame is off, so I'm going to modify this real quick if it'll let me. Bear with me. That way you can see what I see. All right, so here's the filter gallery. You'll see cutout here, and you'll see number of levels, right? 4 levels equals 4 levels of gray. 5 would be one too many. So we'll keep it on 4. Edge simplicity means how abstract it's going to be versus, that's probably don't do that. It should look like a face, right? So we're going to find a happy medium in between. Maybe I kind of like this angular look, and you'll see edge fidelity. The higher the resolution, the less fuzzy this will look. So on yours, it might be a bit more clear than mine because I really took something that I forwarded through like my Google Hangouts, right? So it did compress the image quite a bit. But maybe I'm looking for something like that that's a little more angular, and I'd be absolutely fine if you're doing something that looks like this for your project. It does not have to be hyper realistic, right? The point is to go through that process. This sort of mapping, if any of you go into making a mural in the future, being able to map these out, like this is the sort of stuff I do for our art commissions, and this allows me to take something that's this layout here and translate it to a larger scale, or it might be translating it to another material. So in your case, you're going to be taking this map and translating all those little cut pieces of paper onto a sheet. So make sure this is 9 by 12. Try not to glue onto your printout. Ideally, you just kind of use this as a reference. You can draw in where pieces are supposed to be, and then use this looking side by side, even if it's on your screen, right? You just have it there for a reference. So this would work great on a tablet, or your laptop if that's next to where you're working. You can do this with your phone. Just remember, on your phone, it's a really small screen. So if you have the option to get a bigger screen, I would do that. Or if you have the option to print it out in black and white, I would do that as well. But not required to complete this assignment. That's pretty much it for the Photoshop one. Sorry, it's a bit long, but you had to struggle through me trying to find out where things are located. Other than that, I will go ahead and get you the tutorial for the other process.